Hello to my freshman English classes. I am going to give you guys some information about 5 paragraph essays because I know that you're going to have to write one of those for health and fitness. And so I want to just give you guys some guidelines and some time in English class to work on that today because I believe that that's due for you guys on Thursday. For those of you in fifth period, that gives you a couple days. Hopefully you were working on it a little bit during third period. I don't know if there were other things that you guys had to do, but I know usually that's just kind of a workout time. So hopefully you're using that. Um, please just refer to this video. Please don't hesitate to ask questions. I would definitely recommend that you ask Mrs. Mossy and Mr. Ferguson the questions first. But if you need help with just like, does this look good? Does this look like I used research sort of things? I would be happy to give you guys feedback on that these next couple of days. So I am sending an email encouraging sixth period to maybe get ahead. We're not going to have an actual Zoom meeting for our first class this week. It's going to be just talking about 5 paragraph essays and giving you guys time to work on it. Thursday and Friday we'll do our own activities. In fact, let me just give you guys a preview of what we're doing the rest of the year. There's 4 classes left. And so today we are going to talk 5 paragraph essays, and you guys will be encouraged to work on that and get that done. And yeah, and then on Thursday and Friday, depending on which period you have me, we are going to read a very shortened version of Romeo and Juliet that we should be able to read in 2 classes. Because it's just so important that you guys get a little piece of that story. It's so fun. I'm so sad that class time has been cut short. Okay. But I'll give you guys a little piece of that. And I could talk for hours and weeks about all of that. And we could do a lot of fun stuff with that. But we're running out of time. So that will be our last class of the week. We'll read as much of that as we can, and then we'll probably finish up on Monday of next week. I believe that Monday is just the 30-minute classes, and then or 25 minutes, I don't know what they are. And then you'll have one last class, and either Tuesday or Wednesday. And what I'm going to have you guys do is you're going to do a final reflection. You're going to, I'll probably assign it on Monday and give you the specifics, but you're going to pick a piece of literature that we've read this year that you found really memorable or meaningful. And you're going to just give 3 reasons why you chose that piece. Okay, 3 reasons why it's either really memorable, or meaningful to you. Hopefully, some of the things we've read have had an impact on you. You've enjoyed some things, learned some things through it. And so that will be your final. You're just going to write your thoughts. It's going to be pretty simple. And yeah, that's going to be it. Then you guys are going to be sophomores. And anyway, so it's bittersweet to me that this year went the way that it did. But yeah, so one other thing, I'll try to say this now and to say it at the end of the video as well. I need you to email me if you're having any assignments that you've made up. Some people share their OneNote thing with me, which I appreciate, but that doesn't always tell me what assignment I'm looking for, okay? So I think that there's a way that you can just send a little message as to what assignment it is you're sending. I don't mind if you send your OneNote. Don't get me wrong. It's just hard for me to tell exactly what I'm looking for when I get an email that you shared your OneNote with me. If you share a direct document, that's good as well. Okay, so please, this next week and a half, if you want a grade for an assignment, it's really important that you email me that it's made up, and I will reply to that email, letting you know that I've given you a grade. Okay, and give me a little patience with it too, because a lot of people are doing that now, caring about their grades. And so just if you don't hear from me like kind of toward the end of next week, or last day of school, you can email me again or whatever. But I'll try to be as efficient as I can. I don't want to do a lot of grading after the last day of school, honestly. So I'm going to try to take care of that each day and get as much of it done as I can. And so anyway, email me if you have an assignment that you did late. You can tell that it's late because it'll be marked M in RenWeb. All right. So please make sure that you take care of that. All right. Okay, you guys should be able to see my screen right here. This is what you have from Mr. Ferguson and Mrs. Mossy, your final for health and fitness. And I want to just explain to you guys how you can turn this into a 5-paragraph essay. I think that they have it set up very nicely for you guys to be able to do that and give you guys some tips on it. Okay. Basically, I'm going to jump right down to the prompt. The prompt is what you're asked to write about for 5 paragraphs. It says, in what ways has COVID-19 affected global health? I love any prompt that says in what ways or what characteristics, or just it makes it really simple. What you can do is you can pick 3 ways, okay? 3 ways that COVID-19 has affected global health. And write a body paragraph about each one, okay? So what you're supposed to do is write a 5-paragraph essay that addresses 3 ways in which this virus has affected health around the world. Consider all the aspects of health. And then what I did is I highlighted these different ways: physical, mental and emotional, social and spiritual. Okay, so a couple of those ways are like compound words or compound ideas. Social and spiritual kind of go together. Mental and emotional go together. Okay, so what I would recommend doing is write an introduction paragraph where you answer the prompt and you basically say that it's affected the world physically, emotionally, and social, in both socially and spiritually. Okay, that's what you want to do for your thesis. You make it clear what you're going to be writing about. What are the 3 ways that it's affected the world? Okay. And so use the guidelines for 5-paragraph essay to be sure that each paragraph meets the criteria. This will be graded with the rubric. I don't have the rubric, obviously. Okay. I'm helping you guys without hearing from them if it's okay for me to be helping, but being your English and writing teacher and feeling like, man, we haven't done a lot of writing, unfortunately, other than just like written responses to things. No, not a lot of formal writing, but I hope that you guys have done this before. And I think that as we talk about it, you'll find like, oh yeah, we've done stuff like this. And in fact, those of you who did the 3-chunk paragraph about a character from To Kill a Mockingbird, the 3-chunk is just a mini 5-paragraph essay. Each chunk can be turned into a paragraph. You guys wrote about the 3 characteristics, and you had a concrete detail and a couple commentary sentences. It's just that's just a miniature 5-paragraph essay. Here you're writing a little more for each paragraph, but not too much more. It's a little bit different. Okay, so notice that I have highlighted at least 1 scholarly article. That's going to be really important. Okay, she doesn't just want your opinion. She wants you to go and do, and I say she, your teachers want you to do some research. Okay, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute, and include a citation to your sources. Now, I would recommend that you guys ask Mrs. Mossy and Mr. Ferguson, does it have to have a bibliography, or do you just want citations in the paragraphs? They're 2 different things, or both. Okay, maybe they want both. Okay, and we haven't worked on this in this class, unfortunately, so I'm happy to help you guys today, and I'll show you a couple of places that you can go that give you guidelines for how to do it. Okay, so that is the assignment. There's a part 2, and this is just your personal reflection here. She's looking for kind of research. I'm sorry, I keep saying she. I'm sorry that I'm not including Mr. Ferguson, but you're health and fitness teachers want you to do a little bit of research. There's tons of stuff out there, guys. Okay, tons of articles about the physical, about the mental and emotional, about the spiritual side. Okay, you just have to take a little time, and I would recommend that you find a couple good articles. Okay, she says at least one scholarly article, so I'll show you guys what that means, and a great place to go look for articles. All right. So I almost said any questions, but none of you guys are there right now. Email me if you have any questions about this. I'll say that a multitude of times. Okay. So yeah, that's the prompt right there, and the specifics. Making sure that you do that, and I would again recommend that you say that you ask, do I have to have citations just in the paper, or do you want a works cited at the end for any sources? That would be a Mrs. Mossy and Mr. Ferguson question, not a Mr. Gilchrist question. And whatever their answer is, I would be happy to help you. Okay, so when you go into the health LMS wall, I hacked into my son's account, left all kinds of weird comments on the wall, pretending that I was Josh Gilchrist Jr. And we're apparently just alike, so you won't even notice the difference. But anyway, one of the things, one of the resources that she gave you in that, you guys will have to go find it, but is graphics for 5-paragraph essays and outlines. I'm going to show you guys my own outline, and I'm going to include that in OneNote and in our LMS, so that you guys can have access to it. Just kind of a guideline for how to write each thing. And so anyway, you're going to have an introduction, 3 body paragraphs, and a conclusion. And this just kind of explains what you do with each one. Okay. Now, I don't really like this introduction. I think that an introduction is always, you always want to have a hook. Okay. We did that No Red Ink assignment where you had to connect hook sentences to your theme, your thesis. Your theme is the effects of COVID-19. And so you just need to create some kind of interesting first sentence that captures attention. It can be an important quote. It can be just, I mean, you guys are affected by this, okay? There's new ideas and new feelings and new wording that has totally different meaning, you know? I think that you guys just have to be creative with how you do it, okay? Think back to March and just how the world quickly changed, right? Like a good sentence or two kind of explaining those changes or something like that. There's lots of different things that you can do with that, but I always recommend that you have a hook. And then the second part of an introduction is just the topic introduction. You're talking about the coronavirus and how it's changed the world. And then you get to your thesis, and then briefly, and I like to do this inside of the thesis when possible, where you have the 3 topic sentences that kind of support, okay, that support your thesis. That I call them your subtopics, okay? But you know, COVID-19 has drastically changed the world, both physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Okay, that would be a way, that would be one sentence and be a way of giving a preview or a summary of the 3 body paragraphs that you're going to write about how things have changed. Okay, each one is going to focus on one of those specifics. Okay, and then paragraphs 2, 3, and 4, you just take, okay, this one would obviously be physically. Okay, the coronavirus has affected the world physically. And then it gives you some things that you need to do. Elaborate on it, okay? Say a little bit more. Then provide a concrete detail, example, evidence, quotation. This is where the research comes in handy, okay? And then explain the information that you give, the evidence, example, or quotation, okay? Again, she doesn't say specifically that you have to use quotations, so we'll talk a little bit about different ways that you can use it. If you ever take an article and use something word for word, you have to use quotation marks, okay? Otherwise, you're plagiarizing and it's not good, okay? You want to take other people's ideas and weave them into your own voice, your own writing. That's very important. So whenever you use word for word, you put quotation marks. If you are just basically kind of summarizing and paraphrasing what someone else says, you need to give credit, like according to Johnson, okay, la da 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 da, okay, they didn't say la da 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 da, but you give kind of a summary or paraphrase of what they say. You want to give credit to them, okay. William Shakespeare said that the world is basically just a place for actors and it's just a dream and not reality, sort of a thing. I'm paraphrasing very badly something that Shakespeare said, okay. His direct quote is like, all the world's a stage, okay. It's a great quote. So anyway, that is kind of what you do right there. So I am going to show you guys my outline next that I've written, and encourage you guys. It's always good to have a basic outline of where you're going, okay? So again, it just explains what you do for a hook, what you do for a bridge, my thesis, answering your health and fitness teacher's prompt. COVID-19 has affected the world in various ways. And then I did a ing phrase, comma, ing phrases are great, okay? Impacting people physically, comma, emotionally, comma, and both spiritually, both socially and spiritually, sorry. Okay, so these right here, okay, baby Roman numerals 1, 2, and 3, these are your body paragraphs. You're going to write a body paragraph about subtopic 1, a body paragraph about subtopic 2, and a body paragraph about subtopic 3. Okay, I'd really recommend that you guys give a little thought, do a little pre-writing, figure out exactly what you're going to say. I don't think that they want just your opinion. I hope you have an opinion, okay, but add some research. I think that part 2 of your writing is more like your opinion and feelings about it, okay? So I'm going to just talk about what you do for a body paragraph and how you can organize it. And your body paragraph should be no less than 5 sentences. And I would recommend that you do more. Okay, the more detail and support you can add, the better. But it should be a minimum of 5. Okay. And basically, you're going to start with a topic sentence. Your topic sentence is going to make really clear what your subtopic is. Okay. The physical effects. Remember, we're talking about COVID affecting people physically. And then I put the physical effects of coronavirus have been, you fill in the blank. What adjective would you put? Okay. And please don't copy my wording. Okay. Have your own voice, word this in your own sort of way. Don't copy my sentences and change it. Okay, especially don't put for your second paragraph a topic sentence that says the physical effects of coronavirus have been insert adjective. Okay, that won't look good. Okay, that will look like you're not even thinking about it. Okay, so elaborate on it a little bit, just explain it a little more. Okay, and in a way that kind of introduces letter C, a piece of evidence or quotation that supports your topic sentence. This is like what we did with the To Kill a Mockingbird character thing. Okay, this was the concrete details where you guys took actual quotations, which were the piece of evidence that proved that your character had a certain character quality. Okay, this is going to be a little bit different. You can do a lot of different things. Okay, you can consider it a concrete detail, consider it just adding a weaved quotation, consider it adding a paraphrase of a piece of research, but C should be research based. I would really recommend that, or just something strong. When you get to the spiritual side of things, I think a Bible verse might be really good for your letter C, evidence, a quotation that just kind of explains and comments on what people are doing, okay? And then explain the piece of evidence or the quotation. Now you can repeat C and D a couple times if you want, okay? If you find a couple good quotations that really prove your topic sentence. feel free to do that. Okay, feel free to go into more detail. It never hurts. Okay, and finally, when you get done, your last sentence should just be kind of a concluding sentence that transitions into the next one. Okay, it can simply just be kind of a restate of the topic sentence without copying it word for word. You want to change the wording a little bit in a way that brings closure to your body paragraph. Okay, paragraphs 3 and 4, you're just going to repeat that formula for the other two subtopics. Okay, so this one was the mentally and emotionally. Sorry, I was pointing to the wrong one. Mentally and emotionally is subtopic 2, and then socially and spiritually is subtopic 3. Okay, so at least 5 sentences, a piece of evidence or quotation, or just you taking the information and paraphrasing it into your own words. Okay, so yeah, let me show you guys in just a second what you can do to find scholarly sources. So we like to use Google a lot. When you're asked to look for scholarly articles, all you got to do is type in the word scholar, and you got to be a scholar to know how to spell scholar. But you can see it right there, scholar.google.com, and you can find scholarly articles this way. And what I did is I just put coronavirus effects on spiritual health, and that's one of your subtopics. You could do a lot of different things. Coronavirus effect, physical effects. You could do a lot of different keyword searches is the word I was looking for. I'm sorry about the delay there, but anyway, so it brings up all these different articles, and what I would recommend is not every single one of these, but if it doesn't have something that you can click over to the side that says like HTML or PDF. If you click it, you're not going to find an article. You're going to just find what's called an abstract, which is a summary of the article and a way that you can pay for an article or order it. If it's over here on the side, there's a very high chance that you will find an actual article. So mental health characteristics associated with dysfunctional coronavirus anxiety. Man, that sounds really good for one of my paragraphs, the one about mentally and emotionally. I'm going to click over here and it will open a whole bunch of information and it will have an article. Bear with me here for a minute while it loads. So this gives you all kinds of information. This is from a periodical called Psychological Medicine, Cambridge University Press. You can't get much more scholarly than that, Cambridge University. So anyway, this has information about authors, name of the article, when it was published, what volume it was from, all those different things, okay? For those of you who have done research papers and have struggled to find articles that have authors, okay, Google Scholar is a great place to go, okay? So yeah, there's like a whole article. It has its own works cited at the end, okay? Now, here's the deal. Please don't everybody run and use this article necessarily. I mean, you can, okay? This is just one of many. Do some research. She says at least one, okay? And so scholarly, I would recommend that you consult other sources that aren't scholarly. Just do like a regular Google search. Go to like Christianity Today, or man, what is the name of that one? There's an actual really good, but I can't remember the name of the site, but just a good good Christian websites that talk about spiritual, social effects. Okay. The more information you use, the better. Okay. So, really quickly, you'll notice that there's 3 authors right here. Okay. Sherman A. Lee, Mary C. Jobe, and Amanda A. Mathis. I want to show you guys really quickly how you would cite that in your writing. One thing that you could do is say, according to Lee, Jobe, and Mathis, and then just present your information or your quotation. Remember, whenever you use word for word, to put quotation marks around it to show that it's a direct quotation. But you can read the article and find pieces of information that you find helpful. Now, if you're going to copy and paste, I would be wary of that, okay? I mean, you can do it, I guess, but if you're going to just copy and paste direct wording, make sure that it flows with your writing. Make sure that you put quotation marks around it, and make sure that you're commenting on it and that it's not just a big chunk of information that looks like you just copied and pasted, okay? When you copy and paste, what usually happens is you can tell like a kid is writing in one font and all of a sudden you get this totally different font. You can tell that the person just copied and pasted something in there. And so make sure that your fonts are consistent. And whenever you, like I said, quote directly, make sure there's quotation marks around it and that there's a flow and a good weave to your own writing, okay? My recommendation, I think it's a great skill to be able to do, is to just take the ideas contained in a piece of research and make it your own, okay? Paraphrase it while giving credit to the person who had the idea, okay? I hope that makes sense. So there are works cited, which is like your bibliography at the end, and there are in-text citations. And based on her wording, she says to provide a citation for your sources. I would ask her exactly what she means by that. But basically, you guys did citations in your 3 chunk where you put Lee and the page number where you found the actual quotes. This gives you just different examples. Let's say that you're quoting an article or book by a guy named Kenneth Burke. There's a couple of different ways you can do it. Okay, 2 examples right here. Human beings have been described by Kenneth Burke as symbol using animals. This is a weaved quotation right there, word for word. There's a 3 in parentheses. Now, if you take a Google Scholar article, there probably won't be page numbers on it, I don't think. And so what you would want to do is just, if you say according to Lee, Job, and Mathis, blah, 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 period. You don't have to put anything in parentheses at the end, okay? But if you just provide a fact or a quote without naming them in your writing, you would want to put the names of the authors in parentheses. Let me scroll down here really quickly. And if you guys look up here at the top, owl.purdue.edu, this is a great writing source that I recommend that you guys visit for MLA format and doing citations. It gives you information with no known author. If you find an article with no known author, it tells you what to do. This is what goes in your actual writing, okay? Same last names, multiple authors. Here we go, okay? So basically, Best and Marcus, okay, let's say that there was an article written by David Best and Sharon Marcus, Best and Marcus, okay? Lee, Job, and Mathis, State, okay? This is all like paraphrase of information, page number there at the end. Again, if you're doing a Google Scholar article, just give credit to the people who say it, okay? If you just want to state a fact that you learned from the article without naming the authors, you would just put Best and Marcus, or Lee, Job, and Mathis in parentheses at the end. I hope that makes sense, okay? But anytime you are using another source, okay, even if you're talking about something that another source says, it's really important to give credit to that, okay? That's citation right there. I will provide a link to this in our LMS so that you guys can get some access to this.